This is the Balancing Act by Security Compass, your guide to going fast while staying safe in today's digital world.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our podcast today. Our guest today is Wayne Howell. Wayne, welcome to the podcast.
How you doing? Pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. So, Wayne, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do?
My name is Wayne Howell, Jr. I've been in cybersecurity for close to 10 years now, mainly focusing on governance and product security in industrial space for Honeywell.
Wonderful. That's great, Wayne. So let's just dive right into this. We're hearing more and more about hardware and software and security. Can you talk a little bit about the similarities and differences between hardware and software life cycles?
Yeah, I think one of the main things that we want to focus on from similarity is end of life. A lot of times we have different mechanisms for how we actually manage our inventory, whether it's from a software perspective or from a hardware perspective. We have several different types of plans that people tend to follow. How often are we ending our life cycles? How often are we doing end of support? So a lot of times you have solutions out there that hit the market that customers haven't actually taken the time to understand this is how we're actually going to support this product here, and here's the ending when we're not going to support it. And properly giving this information to customers to say this is the expected time of when we're going to not be supporting this product. And that's consistent from both a software and a hardware side. Hardware, you're going to be mainly focused on, how do we deploy? Are we doing any kind of patches to our particular hardware? How do we get this back out to customers if they need it? How do they contact us? But from a software side, it's going to be fairly easy because you can provide that through various means. You can provide it through your type of intake or external processor where you actually give product out to customers.
That's interesting. And when we take a look at the similarities and differences between hardware and software life cycles, one of the challenges oftentimes is we've got almost two different perspectives at times on how we move forward with these respective life cycles. So how do we integrate the hardware and software life cycles? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think you need a mechanism to bring it all together. As we kind of move into this connected space where the world is today, right, where everything is connected, where we're bringing more hardware and software together, we need solutions that integrate all these things together. I need my hardware requirements as well as my software requirements all together in the same space because they have a good convergence as it is today.
Yeah, that's interesting. So we talk about the convergence at the requirements level, and also that has a play on the integration when it comes to the design as well. And some of the conversations that I've been having, sometimes the discussion turns into how do we create opportunities for the virtualization of the hardware earlier in the life cycle and conduct some sort of preliminary testing that can occur. At least that way we know whether we're able to fully integrate these things before we start to get too far into the product side of things and the deployment and things like that. So there are some of these tools, as you're mentioning, Wayne, that can actually bring some of this stuff and allow us to do these things a little bit earlier. Now, let me turn the conversation at more from the perspective of trying to look at overall security. We know when we deploy software, we have certain security metrics that we focus on. And similarly, we have the same thing when we take a look at on the product side. So can you talk a little bit about some examples of security metrics, whether they're common between the two or whether they may be different from one or the other? Any sort of pointers or tips for our audience on this?
Yeah, so I would think one of the most common things that you look at is weaknesses, right? You're going to have weaknesses in your hardware design, or you may have weaknesses in your software design. I think that's one of the common metrics that are used across for both software and hardware. If you're not looking at that, you should be looking at that. From a hardware perspective, if I have anything related to JTAG, I want to look at the weaknesses designed with that. That's going to be a security risk to me, as well as if I'm looking from a software side, any type of weaknesses design that I'm introducing in my code base. If I'm looking at how I'm writing my code base, the type of open source libraries that I'm using, the design of the application itself, all those can introduce weaknesses. And that's one of the key focuses from a security perspective that we want to look at.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts, Wayne? Anything that you feel is really important for our audience to know?
Yeah, a lot of times I have this conversation with a lot of people related to product security. Really, as our particular role is being brought more forthcoming as companies start to envision that we need more product security architects out there to really understand the balance between what is the risk to the business. So a lot of times you have architects who may have the understanding of from the IT side, which is primarily what cybersecurity is, but then you need to overlay what the business value is and how this product actually goes out to the customer. How am I evaluating this product as it goes into the customer environment? And can I control it, right? A lot of times products don't have control of their customer's environment, but we have all the protections built in at the application layer, but you still want the customers to have a good, secure solution overall. So I think that's one of the main focuses that I really want to make sure people drive home. You need to secure your product from the moment it leaves your place to also give guidance on your customer's environment as well, because they may not have those controls as well built in already.
Wonderful. Fantastic. Wayne, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today. Much appreciated.
All right, no problem.
Can't get enough of the balancing act? Make sure to check out our website at www.securitycompass.com and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more episodes.